This is John Sherwood here at johnsherwood.com. I've actually got Jon Collins today here with me, and he's one of the guys behind the Bible Project. And as you see behind me here, this Genesis comic strip is actually from this guy and the other people there behind the Bible Project. I'm really a big fan. Thank you so much, Jon, for joining me here today and taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely, John. It's fun to hang out.
So as we kind of jump in here, I just wanted to ask a few questions to kind of get a little bit of a download about you and about the Bible Project and how this all happened. So tell me a little bit about what the Bible Project is, how it came about. What's sort of the origin story for you guys?
So a friend of mine, Tim Mackey, we went to school together in undergrad at Multnomah. Got to know each other through a ministry called Skate Church, where Tim actually came to know Jesus. And we both worked there. It was an outreach to skateboarders. And we're studying the Bible at Multnomah. And then Tim went on to study more, really dig in deep in Hebrew languages, get his PhD. And then I went on and started working in digital marketing and learning how to do videos. And then we just reconnected about three and a half years ago and started dreaming about what would it look like to take biblical theology and turn those into short animated videos, which I was getting really good at making for just nonprofits and startups and whatever, Fortune 100 companies. And so we just started working on it together, like half a morning a week. He was a full-time pastor in Portland at the time, and I was helping running an agency in Portland. So we just kind of hunkered down in the agency half a day a week and just started writing and designing these videos and then put them online. We put the first 2 videos online 2 years ago, coming up on 2 years this month. So, yeah.
What was it that really inspired you to want to do something like this? I mean, obviously you were in the space, you were doing video creation, digital design, but what was it that inspired you to want to really get the overarching theme of the Bible and each book really captured in these short films? What was it that inspired that in the beginning?
Well, Tim had already been making videos that you could find called Bible in 5. You can find them on his website, timmackey.com, and they were part of the church he was working at in Madison, Wisconsin. And he was just breaking down the Bible in these 5-minute videos in front of a whiteboard, one take.
Right.
And so he had already been chewing on and working for a couple decades on just thinking about how to explain the literary design of the Bible visually. Mm-hmm. And I was really interested in just anytime I learn something new, I just want to make a short video to explain it. That's just how my mind works. And I have a passion for the Bible. And I feel like typically biblical theology, or just the Bible, theology in general, is dense and confusing and frustrating oftentimes, and you get lost in the weeds. And so I just wanted to figure out, how do we make a channel where people could watch videos and come away and go, oh, I get this.
Yeah.
Or I get this for the first time. Oh. So I was wanting to make a YouTube channel about that. I didn't know what I was talking about, though. I mean, I studied the Bible for 4 years in college, but still just felt like I can't write these scripts. And so the collaboration with Tim was a perfect way to make that happen.
Right. I mean, how many people in modern times, they start reading the Bible in Genesis, and then, they get to Leviticus or Numbers or so, and they kind of give up. It's just, it just flies over their head, or it just feels frustrating. And so that's one of the things that I've really appreciated the most about the Bible Project, is how accessible it really makes the overarching story of a really large book that's hard to digest as an individual without much training. You were talking about how, Tim and you were both in college, at Bible college in Multnomah, and my grandfather actually went to Multnomah, so that's kind of cool.
Oh, really? Oh, cool.
Yeah, a long time ago. But yeah, so, how would you say that you guys' biblical and formal theological education has really played a part in the Bible Project?
For me, I would say Multnomah was a great school. I really learned how to think at Multnomah. It was really challenging in many ways, but really and Tim as well. Like there's a teacher there, Ray Lubeck, who we both were studied under, and Ray really gave this foundation for how to read the Bible through some classes that he taught called Bible Study Methods. And then he also taught a class on Old Testament biblical theology, which was really instrumental. Yeah, that was really impactful. Most of the Bible Project theology, though, is not from my training. It's from Tim's continued training and the teachers that he sat under. So that'd be a better question for him. One day you should talk with him. So my role typically is just to like ask him questions, and I become more of a journalist.
Right.
I'm a very skeptical person, so I'm constantly just digging in and like, okay, does this make sense? I want to understand it. So when we work on these videos, I'm not relying on my theological training. I'm relying on just my inherent skepticism, and then Tim's training.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So what are some of the most creative and sort of fun, effective, out of the box ways that you've heard about people really utilizing the Bible Project for their faith or for the faith of others?
Well, some not quite out of the box, but just ones that we love to hear is when I just always love, I didn't expect this when we started this project. But families use this a lot with their kids.
Yeah.
When we worked on these, I was always wanting to make a video that I would watch.
Right.
Or that I wish existed when I was in my 20s. Right. So that's the audience in mind when I make them. But families with their kids from as young as like 5, 6, and then 8, 10, they constantly get these emails and even pictures of the family coming together and watching the videos. And I think it's so cool. I love that. But schools are using them, churches are using them in classes and before sermons. We just mailed out like a special DVD. We don't have DVDs because I don't even own a DVD player.
Yeah, I was going to say, who uses those anymore?
Who uses them anymore? But there's this lady who works at a juvenile detention center, and she can't bring in media unless it's in an official DVD. So we had to print her out like official looking DVDs so that she could bring the content in. And she just wrote this morning about how our video on Job really opened up an amazing dialogue with the girls there who have a lot of questions about life. And I mean, out of the box though, I haven't heard anything that out of the box. There's these guys in South Africa who are going to wrap a van in all the artwork of the Holiness video.
Nice.
So I mean, there's people who are doing really cool things.
Evangelism bus, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And they're being translated in tons of languages. People could do that on YouTube themselves. So people are just doing it, and it's awesome. Every week we just get this email that tells us all the languages it's been translated into. And YouTube has this peer review process, so we don't have to worry too much about it being horrible. Yeah.
That's one of the cool things too about the digital age, right? Is that this really has been, it seems like in a large way, really crowd funded, crowd reviewed, crowd just kind of processed, even as it's continued to grow. I know I caught wind of it through a random email. I jumped on it. I loved it. I became a subscriber. I started supporting you guys. Now we're doing an interview. I'm getting to meet you. It's cool to see how like something that really is central to so many people's faith, the inspiration of the scriptures and the meta narrative and how all the Bible really fits together. It touches hearts and it strikes a chord with people of all nations, of all languages, and it really does impact the world. And so I just want to say thank you to you guys just for the inception of what is continuing to grow to be this really incredible thing. I mean, who doesn't love some great animation talking about the greatest story ever told, right?
Yeah.
So on that note, like what are some ways that people can get involved, be supporting you guys? Where can they find your stuff? How can they get connected to you? Yeah,
like you said, this is a crowdfunded effort. and we really love that. It gives us a lot of freedom. We don't have like some organization telling us exactly how we need to do this. So there's a lot of trust that we're getting from people who are sending us the money. So this is funded primarily from just two different types of people that are giving. One, people who give monthly, like $5 or $10. It's awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And there's just a whole crew of people doing that now, and it's amazing. And we feel so overwhelmed by the generosity of you and others doing that. And then people give one time. Some people, can't budget like that every month, and just kind of give as they can. We typically fund for a project. So we'll be funding for the Book of Job here pretty soon in a fully animated version we're going to do. And so people can give just to kind of see the needle move on that. So those are kind of the two ways to give, but like we don't spend any money on marketing. Right. I shouldn't say that. I spend about maybe $20 a video to market it on a Facebook boost. Right. Because Facebook's kind of silly where like if you have fans on your Facebook page, they won't actually show your content unless you pay to do it. Right. But we spend about $20 a video on marketing. But that's basically nothing. And so our marketing is all word of mouth. It's people sharing emails like you got, people on Twitter and Facebook. The reason why we do that is because we think if the content's good, people want more. So let's spend the money on the content. That's what we're doing from the beginning. And then our philosophy is let's keep it free, no paywalls. Yeah. And I mean, we're not shy about asking for money, right. Which, is, I guess could turn some people off. And, like if you go to our website, it's just this like big, like, come give us money and join this project. But everything's there. If you go to our YouTube channel, it's not. It's just like our YouTube channel, and it's all the videos, and they're free. And you go to the website to download them, and that's free. And so we don't want any paywalls. And as people are translating these into new languages, which is happening now, like not the YouTube captions, but they're actually localizing them. Right. We're going to put them up on YouTube on new channels. But as they're doing that, they're thinking, how do we distribute this in this culture? Right. YouTube makes a lot of sense for our culture, but in other cultures, it doesn't make as much sense. Right. So we just like want to get it out in the most accessible way possible. Right. So yeah, if people want to support that, they can do it in any of those ways.
JoinTheBibleProject.com.
Yep, JoinTheBibleProject.com.
And your YouTube channel, Bible, or no, it's just Bible Project?
The YouTube channel is The Bible Project. So it's youtube.com/The Bible Project. Nice. Also, thebibleproject.com redirects to jointhebibleproject.com. So you could, if you just Google The Bible Project, you'll find us. So
I just had an idea actually while you were talking, dude. Full-length feature spanning the whole Bible, right? Linking all of these videos at some point. I know that's a massive project, but hey, that would be pretty cool because like I said, who doesn't like a sweet animated version of the greatest story ever told? Hey, as we're getting ready to wrap up here, what are some words of wisdom and encouragement that you would have for maybe somebody else out there in the community of faith that really has something burning on their heart or has some skill set and they're really wanting to offer it to the Lord? How would you encourage them to get started? Because obviously, these things that grow and become so big, they don't start like that. There's obviously hurdles along the way. So what kind of encouragement or wisdom would you offer somebody in that position?
Yeah. My philosophy is make content that's valuable. And so if you have a passion, if you have an idea, it's really the hardest thing is making the idea concrete. And it means you just have to work on it, make something. It's not going to be amazing at first, right. but keep at it. And I think generosity begets generosity. So give your ideas away, give your stuff away. Don't hold on to it so tightly. Don't have this fear that like, this is my idea, and if I give it away, someone else will take it. I think that a generous spirit actually begets more opportunities. So Yeah, if God's put something, inspired you for something, just work at it hard and be generous with it.
Hey, it's better to give than to receive, right?
Yeah.
Cool, man. Jon Collins, The Bible Project, John Sherwood, johnsherwood.com. Thanks so much, John. Appreciate it. You have a great day.
Thanks, John. You too.